Welcome to the Western Front. The year is 1916. You are 19 years old. Your uniform is itchy, and you have made a terrible, terrible mistake. Back home, the recruitment officer told you that the war would be a grand adventure. He said you'd be home by Christmas, covered in medals and kissing pretty girls. Spoiler alert. The only thing you are going to be covered in is mud, lice, and the exploded remains of your friends. And you are definitely not going home by Christmas. Welcome to the trenches. This is your new home. It is a long, narrow ditch cut into the earth of France and Belgium. It is your bedroom, your bathroom, your dining room, and very likely your grave. Your survival challenge begins now. Let us see how long you can last before the war to end all wars ends you. First, let's talk about the environment. You might think a trench is just a hole in the ground. Oh no, it is a soup. It rains constantly. The water pools at the bottom of the trench and mixes with the clay to form a thick glue-like sludge that sucks the boots right off your feet. But it's not just mud. It's a forbidden fondue of human waste, rotting food, empty shell casings, and decomposing bodies that have been buried and churned up again by artillery fire. The smell is the first thing that hits you. It is the stench of death, unwashed bodies, chloride of lime, and cordite. You will never get this smell out of your nose. It's the new eau de trauma, because you are standing in this freezing, toxic sludge 24 hours a day. You are about to unlock a new bodily horror achievement. Trench foot. Humans are not amphibious. When your feet are wet and cold for days on end, the blood vessels constrict to save heat. Your feet go numb. Great, you think, my feet don't hurt anymore. Wrong. This is your tissue dying. Your feet turn red, then blue, and finally, a necrotic black. They swell up to 3 times their normal size. If you try to take your sock off, the skin and sometimes the toes will peel off with it, like overcooked chicken falling off the bone. The only cure? Amputation. Or, if you're lucky, rubbing whale oil on your feet. Yes, whale oil. But you aren't alone in the trench. You have roommates. First, the lice. They live in the seams of your uniform. They bite you constantly. You can try to burn them out with a candle, which makes a satisfying pop sound, but they always come back. You are itchy, you are tired, and you are miserable. But the lice are nothing compared to the trench rats. These aren't the cute little mice you see in pet stores. These are monsters. Because of the abundance of food. Scattered across no man's land, these rats have grown to the size of domestic cats. They are bold. They will steal the food out of your hand. And when you finally manage to fall asleep, they will crawl across your face. The veterans tell you to tuck your head under your blanket. Why? Because the rats like to start with the eyes. Sleep tight. Speaking of food, you are starving. The British Army feeds you bully beef, which is tinned corned beef that looks like cat food, and hardtack biscuits. Hardtack is essentially flour and water baked until it is a brick. It is so hard that if you bite it, you will break your teeth. You have to soak it in tea just to make it edible. And usually, the biscuits are infested with weevils. So you have a choice. Eat the bugs for extra protein, or eat nothing. You eat the bugs. Bon appétit. Now let's discuss the neighbors. The Germans are only a few hundred yards away in their own trench. If you are bored and decide to poke your head up to see what's going on, crack. That's a sniper. You're dead. Keep your head down. If the snipers don't get you, the artillery will. This is the sound of World War I, the constant thump, thump, thump of heavy guns. Shells rain down day and night. You can't fight back. You can only huddle in a dugout and pray the next one doesn't have your name on it. This constant, earth-shaking noise destroys your nervous system. Men start shaking uncontrollably. They stare into the distance with eyes that see nothing. We call it shell shock. Today we know it as severe PTSD, but back then officers just yelled at you to man up. Thanks. Very helpful. One morning, the shelling stops. It's quiet. Too quiet. You look out and see a greenish-yellow cloud drifting low across the ground toward you. It looks almost beautiful. It isn't. It's chlorine gas. Or maybe phosgene. Or, if it's 1917, mustard gas. You hear the gong. Gas! Gas! Gas. You have about 6 seconds to put on your gas mask. If you fumble, if you panic, you die. Mustard gas is particularly nasty. It's a blistering agent. If it touches your skin, you get massive, chemical burns. If you breathe it in, it blisters the inside of your lungs. Essentially, your lungs melt into a liquid, and you drown on dry land, coughing up pieces of your own respiratory system. Even if you survive the gas, the chemicals settle in the mud. So if you lie down later, boom, chemical burns on your back. The war literally hates you. You have survived the rats, the lice, the trench foot, the snipers, the artillery, and the gas. You are a survivor. But then, the unthinkable happens. The officer blows his whistle. It is time to go over the top. The generals, sitting in a comfortable chateau 50 miles away, have decided that today is the day we take 50 feet of mud from the Germans. You fix your bayonet. Your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it. You climb the wooden ladder, known as the scaling ladder, out of the safety of the trench and into no man's land. No man's land is an alien planet. It is a maze of barbed wire, shell craters filled with toxic water, and the unburied dead. You start to run. But you can't run fast because you are carrying 60 pounds of gear and the mud is up to your ankles. You are a slow-walking target. The enemy machine guns open up. Rat-a-tat-tat. These aren't muskets. These are industrial killing machines firing 500 rounds per minute. Your friends fall to the left and right of you. You dive into a crater for cover, landing on a skeleton from 1915. You are pinned down. If you move, you die. If you stay, you die. Let's say, by some miracle, you survive the charge. You take the enemy trench. Congratulations, you have gained 20 yards of mud. The next day, the Germans counterattack and take it back. Millions of men died over patches of dirt the size of a football field. It was a war of attrition. A meat grinder designed to turn a generation of young men into fertilizer. If you survive the war and make it home, you are changed forever. The loud noise of a car backfiring makes you dive for cover. You can't sleep because you still feel the rats on your face. You are the lost generation. So, was it a grand adventure? No. It was the worst camping trip in human history, featuring chemical warfare and foot rot. If you prefer watching history to dying in it, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me buy trench foot cream.